All right, so let's work our way down to our forearm muscles. Now, with the forearm muscles, it's about landmarking. Whenever you're learning the names of muscles, find something that seems like a really good central point or an edge point and work your way from that one. So for me, if we start down here in the middle of the forearm on the anterior side, I like to use this one right down the center. A lot of people can actually move their tendons in such a way where you can see that line going right to the center where their palm is. So that is our palmaris longus. If it goes right in front of the palm, it will cause this to flex. It'll bring it forward. So palmaris longus is the central point that I use to find all of my other muscles. From the palmaris longus, there's one on each side that goes to the carpals. It's on the front, so it will cause flexion. So if you're in the front, you can flex. You can bring things forward. This one's on the side with the radius, so we would call it the flexor carpi because we stop at the carpals radialis. This one's on the side with the ulna, so we call it the flexor carpi ulnaris. Now, there is one underneath all of this right here, which has an interesting name. Because it's deep to these, the name probably won't make sense to you. But this is called the flexor digitorum superficialis. It's called superficialis because underneath it are the other muscles for flexing the digits. So out of the digit flexors, the ones that go down to the fingers, it's the one that's on the top. These aren't digit flexors. They don't go to the fingers. They go to the wrist. So these all act on the wrist versus this one comes down and acts on the fingers, specifically fingers 2 through 5. Okay, now if we rotate a little bit here, so we're moving towards the thumb side, there's one at an angle here. It's short and bundled, so the term for that is teres. So we have a pronator teres here because what it'll do is it will pull in a way that you're going to turn your palm back. And so pronator teres. There's a pronator quadratus, but that's really deep to this, and I don't think I can show it really well in this model, but it goes in the same angle. So you're going to go rotate this way. Pronator teres is going to pronate the forearm, and then the supinator is going to go the opposite direction. It's deep. So there's that pronator where we saw it here. It's cut now, but it would pull you this way. Supinator would cause supination and pull you this way. Okay, so let's take a look at those actions on my arm. So if we are looking to cause, so this anatomical position, if it was off to my side, and so we're palm forward right now. If we were to follow the path of your pronator, it would make an X. So what I usually tell people is take your thumb, put it on the medial side and above the elbow. Take your pointer finger across towards the radius on the bottom of that elbow. So if you were to pull it, it would flip your arm over. So that's pronation. So pronator teres is the muscle that has to go in that direction. A really good way to identify if you are looking at the pronator versus the supinator is look at the direction the muscle fibers are running, put your fingers on it. So if you had one to go in this way, see what they would do. So the pronator will cause pronation. Supinator has to be in the opposite direction to cause supination. So they make an X across your elbow. Okay, let's go back to the model. So now that we're back with the superficial muscles in place, so there was that pronator teres, on the other side of that one is one that's starting in the brachial region, all the way up here, and it's coming all the way down on the side with the radius. So this is the brachioradialis. So this is a really big one in that forearm. As we flip it over, you have two muscles right underneath that also go on the side of the radius, but they stop at the carpals. So just similar to what we saw earlier, you're going to name it for the action that it does, where it stops, and what bone it's over top of. So you have two of them now. We'll have a longus and a brevis. The longus starts up higher than the brevis. So these are going to be your extensor, because now we're in the back. Carpi, because we're going to stop at the carpals. And then this is on the side with the thumb, so the radialis. So extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis. We have an extensor digitorum as a really big one. This is the landmark I tend to use when I start just on the back. So I go from here and I spread down to digits 2 through 5. There's a teeny tiny one right here that goes only to the pinky. And this is the extensor digiti minimi. And if you can picture Austin Powers talking about mini-me, I always picture him like holding his finger up, his pinky up. So extensor digiti minimi. And then on the most medial side here, we're going to be over top of the ulna. And so we have one going to the carpals. We're in the back, so we cause extension. So extensor carpi ulnaris. And those are the muscles of the upper limb.